Have any additions, deletions to the agenda?
Yes, I have two. One for Keith Eisenbar regarding fireworks display or fireworks banner. And then a second one in regards to some requests from Westie Social Society.
Okay. We'll call those D1 and D2 if everybody's okay with that. If there's no other additions or deletions, I just need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I move to approve the amended agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Let's move on to consent items. Is there any discussion on consent items, or can we have a motion to approve those?
I move to approve the consent items.
Second.
Any discussion? Anybody need time on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to public comments on non-agenda items. This is time of the meeting where public can speak for 5 minutes on anything that's not on the agenda, if they so wish. Do we have anyone that would like to speak from the public? Awesome. We'll move on to D1, which I believe we labeled that one as Heath Fireworks sign.
For that one, every year Heath puts out a sign for fireworks as you're coming into town. And so, but I can't remember, does he put it in on Flush or?
It's at RV Park.
At the RV Park, okay. And so he's just requesting in that he can put up his fireworks sign.
Just a reminder that Heath's house and where he sells is not technically in city limits, so this is just for the sign advertising his sales. Any discussion on that?
I move to approve Keith Eisenbar putting a sign for his fireworks stand at the RV park.
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? All approved, or all agree, or
Aye.
opposed? Moving on to D2, Westie Social Society.
Okay, so we have a couple events that we want to do. We're kind of late getting started this year, but we've got a couple things that we would like to do. Our first request is we would like to do another community potluck event on Friday, July 3rd, to kind of center it around 4th of July weekend. So we would like to reserve the Frank Memorial Pavilion down at the RV park, if possible there. We do recognize that it'll probably be pretty full. The RV park may be pretty full at that time. We're not planning on doing the big bounce houses and all that stuff, so we would have yard games. And then the potluck itself. Open to the public, free.
And we opened it to campers too, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yep, anyone who wants to come. Do you want me to just go through all of them? Or do we, okay.
I mean, it's up to you.
Okay.
You guys are the ones making decisions.
So that's the first request. Now, the fire department had said they had offered to do a slip and slide to make one and put one over there. I was a little concerned about location. I think if they do it on the flat ground behind the pavilion, but I know that everything's kind of torn up by the pool if you wanted to get a hill. And so I guess my question would be, could they do a slip and slide? And if so, what location would you want?
So the last I knew, our insurance doesn't allow that
Okay,
because of possibility of someone
Okay.
breaking bones.
okay,
Even if they have their own insurance.
They can't. We'd have to insure it.
Okay.
We've been through that, or that's what we've been through before. It has to be a city-sponsored event, or a city has to say it's their event for our insurance,
Well,
or they have to sign a waiver.
I think they would have to,
But they still
I think
have
it was
to.
kind of like the fireworks deal though. They would have had to sign a waiver and have their own liability insurance, both. Because K-Camp will not cover it.
Right.
No
And they
matter
still,
what.
and they still want to sign off on it even
Correct.
after that.
Correct, so you'd have to have the waiver, they would have to have their own liability insurance, and we would have to have K-Camp approve it.
Okay.
So,
Would that be under the Westie Society deal? Or would that be under the fire department, because the fire department's part of the city? I mean, it's like we're insuring ourselves.
well, the event would be Westie Social Society.
Okay.
That's not our event.
Mhm.
They're just
They're just
requesting.
providing the water.
Correct.
Okay.
That's the way I read it.
Okay,
Okay.
so we would need to get our own insurance if we wanted to slip and slide, and even then, we'd have to get it approved by
K-Camp,
veterans.
yes.
Okay,
And would they put the city of Westmoreland on their insurance as, like when we did events out at the state park, there was a horse event or whatever, they had to have insurance, then they would put Perry State Park as the,
Oh, gotcha,
another entity that insurance was covering.
gotcha.
so like
For
put on by Westie
liability
Social
insurance.
Society and the city of Westmoreland.
Mhm. That's how that was done, but I don't know if that's what K-Camp, what they would require.
Yeah, we could research it, trying to get that done before July 3rd would be.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I
We
think
ran
it'd be
into this
okay to not do
Yeah,
it,
the first time the
Yeah.
fireworks show
with the
tried.
fireworks. Which we're not gonna say anything about fireworks this time, so,
And-
yeah.
And I'm all for it. I just gotta follow the rules.
Yes, no, I agree. So then at that part, we'd probably just have yard games like cornhole and things like that, so. So that's our first event, and then our second event is we'd like to do the Westie Fall Fest again, on October 3rd, which is a Saturday. And so if the ballpark is available, we'd like to reserve it there again.
Let's stop there real quick. Let's
Okay, should we do
Let's
the
deal,
first?
let's deal
Okay.
with July 3rd first. And get a motion to approve or not the use of the RV park for the July 3rd event for Westie Society.
Yeah.
And
Probably better find out if any of our camping groups have it already reserved. I
yes,
don't know if we do.
well, we could do that and we could make a motion with the caveat that it's not already reserved. Let's put it that way. Then we could find out, you and Julie can maybe find out tomorrow. If you guys want to do, you'll have to abstain, obviously.
Yep.
So it would be up to one of the other three to make a motion and second to use the RV park if available.
I move to let the Westie Social Society use the RV park on July 3rd for a potluck and yard games and use in the shelter if available.
I would like to do the amendment, to amend that to say, with the slip and slide contingent on getting the insurance and all of that worked out.
We're gonna do that separate.
That's why I said.
It's all
You
under,
can add it in.
it's all in that community thing, it's the
There's-
slip and slide is a part of that
Almost
community.
no chance of getting that done before
Yeah.
July 3rd.
Yeah.
Because we fought
We
that
tried
the last
to
time when
track
they tried to do the fireworks show, we fought that problem, so.
That's why I just said don't be used.
And you can have the amendment if they come up with the
Were you
insurance.
eliminating the slip and slide then?
I was probably gonna eliminate at that
Okay.
point, just because we looked at
Okay.
the insurance and it's pretty pricey and
Yes,
not
it
worth
is.
it for a slip and slide.
Yes, it is.
All right, then you're,
So we got a motion and a second, right?
Yep.
Any discussion on that further than we already have? All in favor?
I'm ready.
Opposed? We got one abstain. Right, let's move on to that.
Thank you. So the second event would be Westie Fall Fest again. We don't have all of the details just yet, so this would just be a request to reserve the ballpark if available on October 3rd for that event. That's our first request for that one. And then the second one, I actually had a question on this, was if we did bounce houses for that one, The bounce house place that we would rent from does have its own insurance that it covers for its events. And so our question was, are there any additional requirements to being able to have bounce houses
Just the waiver.
besides the
It's
waiver?
basically the same as the other event.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have the waiver, you have the insurance, and K-Camp would have to sign off on the insurance,
Okay,
if it's gonna be on city road.
okay. So then we would just need to get a copy of their insurance to you guys and then, or,
Correct.
yeah, send it in. Okay,
So we definitely keep that as a caveat, if those things happen, no problem,
okay, great.
right?
Yes, and then we're gonna have to bring the rec in, because the rec has all full control of the ball diamond. We give them full control, so we don't know what their schedule is.
Okay, so I would need to reach out to them. Correct.
Okay. Forgot about that.
Okay. So then do we still need, but we still need approval from the city if it's available to
If it's
utilize?
available and all the caveats are met,
Okay.
then yeah, we would get approval.
We will probably also come back to the city for, as we get more things refined, like last time we had, bingo and we had like a wine bar and all those types of things.
Yeah, if you have the wine bar, alcohol, that sort of stuff, it's, I believe in the past, it's just a matter of some paperwork and it has to stay in a certain location. Is that the way you remember it?
Yeah.
Good.
So we'll come to you guys with all that at a later date. I think right now it's just getting it approved if it's available. To be able to have that.
So we need a motion to approve use of the south, we're calling it the South Ballpark, correct? South Ballpark in, what time frame again?
October 3rd.
October 3rd, with the addition of bounce houses, as long as the caveats that we just talked about are met. So I need a motion if that's what you all would like to do.
That motion,
Second.
can we use that wording?
I wrote it down.
You got the recording, so you can go back.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, we didn't get a second.
Yeah,
Second.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, you said that, okay, yeah.
Okay, sorry, missed that.
All right, that passes.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Anything else for Westy Social
No,
Society?
that's all we have at the moment.
Awesome. No other new business, so we'll move on to old business, pool pricing and handbook. Is that thing finalized yet?
I think so. I've looked at it so many times. I'm not sure what it said.
I hope it's finalized. I'm kind of tired of it. Sorry, but.
Yeah.
Has everybody had a chance to go over this last copy of this? Then I don't think we really need to discuss much more of it, because we've gone over it, I don't know how many times already. So if everybody's okay with it, there's just one thing left to do on it.
I move to approve the pool pricing and handbook.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Excellent. Moving on. Promise to pay form.
Okay, I hope we're gonna hear from you again.
It's perfectly fine.
So last time, Julie and I had discussed this promise to pay form to make some updates to it, to include a little bit more information on when those payments would be made, and then also to put in a section that says if we won't be charging them late fees if they're abiding by this, if they are, paying down on their overage. Unless they miss any of those promise to pay payments, then they will be charged late fees for that month.
Perfect.
And I believe Summer has looked at this and approved it. And so,
I believe that's correct, yes. Anyone have any discussions on that now that it's close to final?
Looks good. Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good to go. Put that in place. Is there any future agenda items that we need to put on to the next few months? Or years, or whatever?
We don't have to have a budget here on the agenda, do we? We do?
It's coming up.
Yeah.
Did we haven't talked about that,
R&R.
yeah.
He said you could just do a budget workshop. Because he said we could go over the budget, and if we have any questions, like he can send it to us and we can go over it, and if there's any questions, we can do even a workshop where he just comes out and explains what it is exactly.
I would like to have a workshop with him, just to have a better understanding of
Yeah,
the budget
yeah.
and all of that, just
Let's-
that way you got questions. I hate asking questions on a computer and then you going
Right.
back and forth and then it creates more, another
I'm
question.
fine with that. Let's find out from him, either tomorrow or early next week, what kind of time frame we have, and if we need to have a special meeting for that workshop.
Okay. I didn't think so.
Yeah,
Because he
Just
mentioned
on the
in
same
that
side.
email that the workshop could also cover, because we won't get anything from the county clerk until Monday, June 15th regarding R&R and all that. So he said the budget or the workshop could cover any questions you had about that
Well,
too.
if he thinks it's gonna be a long, drawn-out thing, I'd almost rather it be just a special meeting just for that workshop that's open to public and everything else, but not kill this monthly meeting.
I couldn't remember in the email what our deadline date was of getting that.
July
on.
20th.
Mhm.
it's July 20th to the county clerk.
Yeah, but
It's-
he was really hoping to get a workshop
Yeah,
in
that
before
would
the
be
end.
really tight.
Yeah,
Right.
it's gonna
Yeah.
be
And
tight,
after our next meeting, so
because you gotta have a public hearing.
we may wanna do
He's,
a special meeting really.
okay. Yeah, he suggested in the next couple of weeks after we get that, because he's got a bunch of deadlines at the end of.
Let's get with him, and if he feels like we need to have a special meeting so that we can have that all prepped and ready to go, so we can approve things in the July meeting, I think that would be a better situation than waiting and trying to go through all the workshop in July and approve and do all that, so, if that makes sense.
Yes, he suggested the workshop in the next couple of weeks, around July. He said, once we get that,
Okay.
those announcements from the clerk on Monday, then he'd like to schedule some sort of workshop, or
Okay.
yes, we can do special.
Then let's get with him, see when he's available,
Yes, okay.
and then we can send some dates out to all of these members and figure out when we could get a majority here to have that workshop. So,
Sounds good. So that doesn't need to be on the agenda, correct? At this point?
Not at this point, I don't believe. Because I believe the budget will be on next month's agenda anyway.
Yes, it should.
Yes. So, anything else for future agenda items? Hearing nothing, let's go to treasurer's report.
Okay, any questions on that? If not, do you want me to go over what funds are looking like in regards to painting in the pool and the capital improvement fund, whatnot? Should we? I can just give you a quick.
Let's give a quick synopsis.
Okay, here's quick. We have, according to Carruthers, 55,000 left to finish the pool. And we have a little over 18,000 left in the capital improvement fund, and then we dip into the general fund, which should amount to 36,556.13. So that's just, I just wanted to show you, we're out of the special project fund, moving into the capital improvement fund. Once that's up, we're in the general fund, so. Just want to give you a quick update on that. And that's all I have.
Does anybody have any questions for our treasurer?
Does that move over into the general, does that include, is that taking the donations, paying, but that's using up the donated money, not necessarily coming out of the general?
Correct, because we put that in general fund.
It was the
for
money
that
that was
purpose.
placed in
Yep,
general.
yep.
Any other questions for the director? Hearing none, Bob, you're up.
Any questions on that report?
Been a fun week.
The only other thing I have is that I would, when we purchased the F-550, the dealership had a list of things that were supposed to be included with the truck, and I've been fighting with them since we gotten it. And I have a long list of emails that they promise and promise and promise, so I would need your guys' permission for Summer to take over. And for them to at least refund us for what was supposed to be put on the truck. That I've after the fact have installed it because I needed it. So if I could send all this information to Summer so she could send them correspondence along with an invoice.
I don't want to pay for it twice.
Yeah.
So that means spending money, so I need a motion to have Summer get involved.
I
Make-
agree.
Yep. Make a motion for Summer to send the letter to them and get what we are owed, or do what they were told, or they said they would do. And probably won't do any more business with it.
Second.
Any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There you go.
I don't have anything else.
That's it? It really has
Your
been
sheet
quite
is
other weather. I know. We've talked about that a few times. So I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Julie is not here for her clerk's report. Did she leave anything with you by chance?
She did.
Or you, or
Unless you mentioned
No, neither.
we'll catch up with her next meeting? Streets, what we got, Bruce? Anything special?
Not really.
Um,
the,
Some damage from local contractors.
yeah, and he was sent an invoice.
Oh,
He was sent an invoice for that damage, and I haven't heard anything. I don't know if it's committed or not, or I don't know anything on it other than that he got sent an invoice.
You
I haven't heard anything.
He didn't speak to me about it last night when I
Yeah.
talked to him.
Shocker.
Bettis Asphalt should be in town here.
She hasn't said anything. There's those invoices sitting on the front of the contractor, yeah.
Hey, have they given you a date yet?
You,
In the next couple of weeks. I talked to him yesterday.
Who is?
Bettis Asphalt.
Okay, that works. I'll check. Double check.
Should be here within the next couple of weeks. They were getting close to getting it on schedule.
excellent. If nothing else for streets, we'll go to utilities. Nothing? Planning and zoning.
Planning and zoning, they met, last month, wasn't it? And, they had 3 items on the agenda. The city lot split was approved, they voted to approve that. They had a, conditional use permit, and they approved that, that was for a greenhouse on the property. And then the other one was for, variance, is that correct, Bob?
For setbacks.
A setback, but the applicant did not appear. So therefore, they're gonna have to refile, and it probably won't be heard. There's nothing really this month, so it'll probably be in July that planning and zoning will meet again.
Or letters sent out for that?
There'll be letters have to be sent out again to
Okay.
There's publication letters.
publication letters and all of that for that variance. So that's the process, but anyway, they didn't realize that they had to be here as the applicant. They thought it would just, go through, but I guess anybody that applies and does stuff needs to be present for planning and zoning if they're applying for, lot splits, variances, any of that stuff. Whoever the applicant is does have to appear at the planning and zoning board so that if there's questions and that kind of stuff, they can answer it. Okay, so.
Perfect. All right, anything else?
Nope.
All right. We'll go to pools, cemeteries, and parks. Let's start with cemetery and parks.
I think everything's okay with cemetery and parks. There was some stuff about how to fix the cemetery, some issues, but
You sent an invoice to that, right? Or no, that one didn't at the cemetery.
We've had so many. We've had contractor damage, we've had, yeah.
The
No, it was-
ATV one was the one I was thinking of, but I think you decided not to send an invoice because there wasn't any true damage.
Yes,
If I'm not
yes.
But I think you're talking about maybe putting signage up.
I did put, today got, vehicles staying out of the grass. Yes, that was the one where they hit the monument.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's been so much going on.
I know.
sorry.
Yeah.
That was just the one that popped in my head, so.
I totally forgot about that, because, yes, so there was no damage, physical damage to the monument, got the monument put back, but,
Okay.
I think the individual's been spoken to, I don't know.
I
Excellent.
wasn't even sure if you figured out what it was.
Yeah, we had a pretty good idea right away. So there's signs up now, there's keep vehicles off the grass, no parking in the grass, and then, I'm making signs for travel path. So I bought blank aluminum signs, so doing vinyl decals, so it gives people an idea, not that any of it's enforceable, but it'll hopefully help a little bit.
With the flow,
So we got a lot of complaints.
especially when it's busy.
We got some, I think because I was out there Memorial Day weekend, I had some people complaining because they were stuck and everybody was going whichever direction they wanted and they couldn't get out. So.
And actually, let's wait on pool till my spot, just so we can get Flint Hill Regional Council.
Well, Flint Hill Regional, I really don't have anything to report from that. They had a meeting last month, but I did go in person and tried to Zoom it, and they had not the proper Zoom connection. And repeatedly, and I got a hold of somebody else from Flint Hills and had a nice visit with her, but she was not part of the meeting. And so they'll meet here in July, will be the next meeting. I'm still trying to get with Jana to see, for a grant that would help us with our parks to upgrade like the ball fields to help maybe with the lighting, that type of thing. So she hasn't returned my call yet, but I'll reach out to her again and find out what it is we need, if we have to. It's a CBDG grant is kind of what they stipulate, and I don't know if it has to, part of the qualification is your population has to be at low, average type.
You have to do the survey.
You have to do a survey, and that's kind of like Eco-Devo, and if Eco-Devo has done that yet, and has
They
that
do
been-
one of them surveys, how long are they good for? You know?
I don't know how,
Because there's a lot of those grants require that. so
they require
if
that.
They're done
and-
once, I wonder how long you can use it.
Yeah, and I have not heard anything from Eco-Devo when they were supposedly gonna do that for housing
Can you send an email to Shana?
and see where we're
Just
at,
ask that.
because that's a requirement.
The last time we talked about CDBJ, we were gonna have to do that.
Yes.
Where it was past due.
Yes.
The last time we done it.
See if she, and see if she's in process, because I know she's trying to do a lot of that sort of stuff.
She was gonna be up at Omega, I think,
Yes.
and doing there up there.
And she's been up here many, many times since the tornado, and I've gone
Yeah.
to several of her meetings, and basically just find out if she's in the process of doing like a population survey, those sort of things,
Yeah, that can be
and,
used for these type of grants.
and how long it would last if we did one, or if she was doing one, or what, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or she ties it with this data center.
What's that?
Is she tied up with this data center?
Kind of, yeah, very much involved with the data center. That's kind of the forefront right now
Absolutely, and
with them.
I know
but-
she's gonna be crazy busy with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Every,
But anyway,
every
follow
county
up.
in this northeast Kansas is right now, so.
Jessica,
Who?
Jessica, remember? Is she working with,
Eco-Devo?
she was at our meeting.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
No,
I
she
didn't know if that
is.
was someone that could,
yeah.
like, if we request, like, we're wanting to do these grants, does that kind of but it's a little further up on the list to get that done.
With EcoDevo?
Eco
Very possibly if the
Right.
data center thing wasn't such a big, massive ordeal right now. So
Mhm.
I think that still puts us way behind the ball, but we could at least have that conversation. So I think
Yeah,
we'll start that conversation. Just copy me on that,
and I'll touch base with you, Amy, and print out some stuff on that CBDG grant.
Okay.
Of what their requirements are, so that you'll have something you can ask Shannon, like, what you're doing this, will that suffice? Will that fulfill this requirement? And
Would that help?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Her name was Shanna or Shannon?
Shannon Goodman. Shannon.
Shannon Goodman.
Okay.
Shannon
Good.
Goodman.
Okay, I know I thought she'd been.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can get your email
I might
if you don't
have
have it, so
Yeah.
just send me a message.
Okay.
I've got it. All right, we'll go to my spot and I'll bring up the pool. Obviously, we had a workshop, unfortunately, because of insurance issues. Reiterate that public could not be there. We did not make any decisions. We did not do anything of, no motions, no decisions. This was all just to see the progress, see where we're at. And I've had multiple conversations with Bob about this pool. He's had multiple conversations with Carruthers and the project manager, I guess is the best way to put her name. Here's my problem. I can't make any decisions. The pool was supposed to be done and handed over to us. I believe we decided it was May 15th, correct? So we are 26 days past. Cherie has said multiple times over the last, 2 weeks that Monday it would be turned over to us. And as you all just saw before this meeting, and as any public could see by driving by, it would take an absolute miracle to have that turned over to us on Monday. So, my question, I have 2 questions. One, we have a penalty phase in our contract. And I know some opinions, do we want to enforce that, knowing that that causes a strife, I guess you could call it, between us and the pool company. The pool company's upset as well because their subcontractors are not doing what they said they wanted or said they would do. So they feel like it's on the subcontractor, but I don't personally care because I didn't hire the subcontractor, they did. So,
What is the details around the penalty? Because I haven't gotten a chance to read the contract.
$250 a day,
yeah, $250 a day from the time that it was,
substantial completion, which would have been
which had been the original contract, which had been May 15th. So it's $250 a day from May 15th until we both parties agree, correct,
yes,
that it is substantially completed.
final completion as per the contract would be Monday.
Correct.
Was there anything in the contract that stipulated buffer or for bad weather or that kind of thing? Nothing was
Well,
included like.
and I will remind you, they started 2.5 months late
Mm-hmm, true,
from their original start.
true. Okay,
The thing about it is, they started late, but they made a lot of progress quick, I thought, and then they quit.
Yeah.
Well, they swapped crews.
Right.
Right, so you had the,
When the flat crew came in,
exactly, you had the guys digging and doing all that, and they were going crazy, and then the next crew came in and everything slowed way down, and I mean, you guys live there, you've seen it, you've watched it.
To me, so if it's about 30 days, that's about $7,500.
Correct.
I think if it's, here's, can I just state my opinion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would love to hear some opinions.
It's in the contract. They breached the contract. It falls into that. $7,500 is not gonna break their bank. It's a $2 million ordeal, and $7,500 is a drop in the bucket. But I think, my opinion is we hold them to that, because it is in the contract. Like I said, it's $7,500, they should, excuse me, they shouldn't have a problem paying that. You know, I was thinking that's compared to $2 million project, but
I feel like we owe it to our taxpayers to stay in
Yeah.
the contract.
yes, 100%.
and on top of that, she didn't make the last meeting, so
Which didn't even make it
she
last.
didn't make the last meeting. Because she knew she was gonna be
I
under
mean,
the
I-
fire.
Project manager didn't?
That's what they told me.
We were supposed to meet 2 weeks after our last meeting, and
We were supposed to get turned over. That's basically why we didn't, because it was supposed to be ours.
I
we
will,
didn't.
I will read what Summer, her response was. She said, after review of the relevant portion of the pool contract, the city may elect to amend the substantial completion date by way of a change order. If you choose not to amend that particular date, my advice is to send a demand for $250 for each day that has passed since that date. I suggest we ask the builder for their updated date estimate. You can then discuss whether that date is reasonable, or if you want to send a demand now. So,
That was my feeling, was I have a discussion with them. Yeah,
well, and
and
problem,
get them to.
part of that problem is they've
Commit.
had
Right.
multiple
Yeah.
discussions.
Right,
Turn around and talk to that wall if you want.
I know.
I'd say go ahead with the 250, like you. proposed.
I also think just not only like if you look at the contract, it's also our citizens who are expecting to have a pool this summer. And so I know there's a lot of disappointed people, including me and my family. So I think holding them accountable to being late, I don't know, that's the way that I would see it.
That's your only two choices, right, what you just read? What
Well, you can do
said.
nothing. You can do
And
nothing.
do nothing.
Yeah, it's not a choice.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a
It's
choice.
a choice, but yeah. it's
You can
not.
do nothing. You can ask for a change order for a new date, which would basically amend the contract, and they would have no real penalties, or we can start the penalty phase of contract. That's basically your three options. Knowing that we're as close as we are and yet as far away as we are at the same time, which is gonna lead to my next point of subject here in
Well, I
a
think
second.
they're the ones that think we're as close as we are. Bob don't think so.
I don't think so.
So. I'll make
That-
a motion to
that's the
give
only-
250 a day.
Can we wait to do this until it is handed over to us? And
No,
then?
I
or
don't
do
believe
we-
so.
Okay,
You gotta get their attention.
okay.
I would think once it's handed over,
Well, the
Then
contracts,
they, yeah.
keep in mind, sorry,
No, go ahead.
this,
please don't.
everything has to be done through summer. She's on
Correct.
vacation, so none of this is gonna happen until after it's been turned over. If
If
the
it-
if
if-
it
yeah.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, okay.
So if you would like, we can make a motion to enforce the penalty phase of the contract per Monday, when Summer is back in the office from vacation. That was also the day that they promised for the fourth or fifth time that we would be handed the keys.
So my question on that is, who makes that determination that we accept when they say we're done, here's your keys. I mean,
Then follow this.
looking at that, I
Have you
mean,
read the contract enough to?
I have, but it's a lot illegal.
yeah, and so my thing is do we have to accept
Right.
the turnover at that time just because they
It's gonna follow
say?
me.
And
Somebody's
then
gotta
do
sign
they
off
have,
on it.
is there anybody doing inspections on this or?
Well, that's supposed to be the project manager that didn't show up the last meeting.
Right, so it's like if they're the ones that are supposed to be okay and signing off on this.
The engineer's signing off on, she's signing off on the work, but the engineer's signing off on what he designed that went into that building is what's getting put in.
But has he been there to
On
look?
site, yeah, he's been on site.
He's been on site and all of that. So just because Carruthers goes, hey, here you go, here's your keys, we're turning it over to you, and you go out there and you look and there's still stuff in the parking lot, there's, you know, it's, to
Well,
me, that they
and-
turn it over, it means it's ready to open.
And I don't know how much you guys have driven by, but I've driven by
Oh, yeah.
every single night after work. That was the most activity I've seen at that place. At
Yeah.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Forever.
I would
Just like
still
what
think that
Bruce-
the mayor would have to sign off on this for the city, wouldn't you?
Either Bob or I would. I mean, I would probably need my signature on it, but I'm gonna go off,
Right. You're gonna go
So
by his,
The
yeah.
paperwork's not gonna come till way after.
yeah.
Paperwork's gonna come way after the fact that they said, hey, you can have it. So that's gonna come way after the fact that they've already left site.
So,
That don't make sense.
That's how most of our projects are.
oh yeah, that's,
Really?
Yeah.
So if it's not complete, you still gotta sign off on it and then,
Well, there's gonna be a checklist of items after the fact. So it's
Okay.
like, even though they're gonna sign it, we sign, even if they turned it over to us, the paint, none of the paint's done on the inside of the building.
right.
That's gonna have to be done after the season. The doors aren't painted. There's all gonna be a lot of little things. We're gonna find things that aren't working right. Or we're gonna find things that, you know.
so is that our responsibility then, if it's turned over to us?
She's, yes.
If we sign off on it, yes. It becomes our problem.
Well, to a point.
To a point, yes, but,
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, they're gonna have some sort of, they have some sort of warranty on their work
Yes,
for
absolutely.
a period of time. So if it's immediate issues that plumber, electrician, lights, fans, whatever, don't work within,
This, you know, everything was designed by the engineer without having any of our stuff in there. So we find, well, this electrical outlet's not working. It's in a place we can't use. Well, then they're gonna, you know, we're gonna say, hey, this isn't working. We need to change. So stuff like that.
so
Yeah.
we can, knowing that summer, it's gonna all have to go through summer. I mean, a letter from me or an email from me is not gonna change anything. A letter from you guys is not gonna change anything. It's gonna have to come from legal. So we know we have till Monday. That's the day that they're supposed to be handing it over to us as a substantial completion. If that does not happen, and you guys want to, then we probably need to have a motion and a second to proceed with the penalty phase on Monday if that does not happen.
Well, I made the
Even,
motion.
sorry.
You have the motion
I
already.
made the motion, Chad wrote it down.
Do we have a second on that?
Can I
Let's
ask
do
a
that
question
first.
on that?
Let's do a second before we go into discussion. Do we have a second on that motion? Because I didn't hear it earlier, I'm sorry.
You didn't?
No.
Well, I thought you wrote it down. You looked at me and wrote something.
Oh, I got your motion, but not the
Yeah.
second.
So we have a second then? All right, let's have discussion.
So even if they do hand it over to us, the key, can we still get reimbursed for these, for them being late? Because they're still a month late.
Yeah.
Okay.
The contract's been broke. So.
Okay, I didn't want it to be contingent on if they didn't hand it over to us.
We never did a change order to change the substantial completion date.
Yeah.
We never did anything other than the original contract.
Yep.
I have not signed anything that changes anything of the contract.
So regardless if they hand us the key or not, we can
Correct.
still move forward with it.
Correct. Unless we're just happy and ready to just be done with it, which is a possibility. I'm just throwing things out there. So, but, good.
And we've had change orders, but they've never brought change orders they've never asked for a change in deadline.
Correct.
Within what little change orders we
That's-
had.
yes.
That's what we had four.
So I'm just reading the definition of substantial completion. And so it just says here that to occupy or utilize the project or designated portion for use for which it is intended without unscheduled disruptions.
So basically, that means it has to be used.
Mean it
We have to
means
be
we
able
can
to-
go in and open that pool
We have
for
to be able to-
business.
They're just minor,
And
minor
open-
details that don't affect the
Right.
operations. Yes.
And so,
Trim work, stuff like that can still be
the
done.
way they're filling that pool, I doubt if the water will be filled by Monday.
Are the pumps ready to run?
No, he was working on wiring them tonight.
You said the chemicals are coming Monday?
My chemicals are coming Monday. They brought their own chemicals in because they didn't meet the deadline.
I don't
My chemicals were supposed to be here on the 1st, which they were coming, but they were not ready for them, so I canceled it. Otherwise, we were gonna have to pay for that chemicals. And they have to be pumped from a truck into the tank. So I canceled it, and obviously, we weren't paying for that. And then the tank was still sitting on the ground tonight, so they're still not ready. But they have their own chemicals on site to get by
Okay.
until my chemicals are actually supposed to be here Monday, so I don't even know if they'll be ready again, so.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any other discussion on that motion before we move on to my other subject? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So my second part of the pool, if this gets drawn out even more, right now, I don't know what we have for employees. I know of 2 personally.
We've got plenty of employees.
Okay. So we still, even after all this, we still have employees.
They're still gonna hang around for a job after this late this
Okay.
summer. Well, that's cool.
So-
Peyton's stayed in contact with them, and
Awesome. I had not been updated, so I didn't know.
as of right now, we're still, literally out of all these applications, we only have one person
They walked away.
that walked away.
When do we normally shut down the pool? And Ashley would know, but she's not here.
It's, no, we never even made it to Labor Day before. It's been
Like,
a long time.
It's-
when school, like
School
right before
starts.
school starts.
Which is when?
August.
And all days of August.
So
Yeah.
my question, not even a question, just something I want you guys to keep in the back of your minds. If this gets drug out 2, 3 more weeks, because I certainly see it happening, possibility of it happening, is it worth rushing to finish for 2, 3 weeks of a pool? I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I just want that in the back of your brains. Is it worth it to rush things for 3 weeks?
Can I state mine and Ashley?
Absolutely.
Ashley says don't let them not open the pool.
I agree
Even
with
if
that
it's just for a
because
month,
And-
we need to make sure that everything works the way it should,
I'm fine with
and we can,
That's my thing, is how do we test it?
we owe it to.
I'm fine with that. I'm just,
Yeah.
right,
And that's
it's
just what
been
I
in the
mean.
back of my brain that
No, no, me too.
I know,
Like,
but how
what
are
do
we
you
gonna
do
know
for-
if we don't open the pool?
it's
and
not, it's
try
not,
this stuff and we wait a whole till next
it's
summer?
just been sitting back here in the back
I
of my
know.
brain going,
I know.
I'm not saying to rush anything. When it's ready, it's ready. When it's safe, it's safe.
Yeah.
We ought to go ahead and get it open, at least for a trial run for next year.
If it's a
So,
month,
And having people in it to see how the chemicals work and all of that stuff, like, it's gotta be,
yeah,
like, I feel like it's gotta be used if
Yeah.
it's an option. We wanna do it.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I just,
yeah.
like I said,
Yeah, I
it's
see
in
what
the
you're
back of
saying.
my brain and
Yeah.
I
Is it worth it or not worth it?
absolutely, you know, because if we didn't, then the painter could go in and do things right. The paint job on the inside would be right. It wouldn't be rushed. Those sort of things was my thoughts. You know, there's a lot of little details that we could make perfect instead of rushed and used and then patching stuff before the next season. And I'm sure we'll probably have to patch stuff before the next season anyway, but
Well, let's wait for Monday and see
Yeah,
what's
I'm-
done right and what's not done right and get it fixed.
So my thoughts is obviously you guys know that I have to have them. After they're done, I have to have them. I would say if we're if we're done Monday, if they turn it, well, I mean, I have the keys, but if they turn it over to me on Monday, I would say comfortably July 1. If your staff is ready to go, we open July 1st. That still gives us time for training. That gives me time to do what I need to do on top of everything else.
And you said we don't have
Wednesday?
mid-August is normally close.
That would give us a month, a little over a month.
So,
But I'm also gonna need whoever, I don't know anything about your staffing, but we're gonna need staff that can take care of the pool, cleaning it, in that in-between process, because once they turn over on Monday, that starts to, then I don't have time to clean the pool.
No.
yeah.
Well, and
we
Ashley and I
we don't
both
have-
said that,
And to remind you guys, there's no vacuum system. We purchased a robot vacuum. I don't know how it's going to work, but everything's gonna have to be manually cleaned, manually skimmed, manually
see, and,
scrubbed.
and how does that work? Like, they're saying they're gonna be done Monday, but they haven't trained us on the equipment yet.
They will have to bring, they will turn us over the building for us to start doing what we need to do. And then in the meantime, they're going to set up a scheduling date.
Yeah, even if they, when they turn it over to us, we're still at least a week and a half
Right,
before we can open the public.
yeah. But
At
like, how
least.
can they turn it over to us if they haven't even shown us how the stuff?
Well, they're turning the building over us to put the tables,
So
to
we
do
can
everything we need to do. That's
put
what
our
it's turning
stuff in.
over to us, is
Okay.
that they will have to confer with our schedules for the training. Obviously, we already talked to them, and we didn't know if we'd have staff, and it may be limited. But
Well, we've at least got 3 people, me, Ashley, and Caitlin, that will know. And we can pull some of, our head guards in
because of
and,
yeah, well, like we
get
talked,
them.
there's gonna be minimal involvement with the, to know how to shut things down in emergency, but other than that, everything's manually done. Everything's gotta be clean, scrubbed, netted. There's no, other than running the robot vacuum at night. Yeah, it's a whole different process than what we're used to. But I could comfortably say on my end, if July 1, if the staff's
How's
ready
that
to go.
vacuum work on stairs?
Big climbs it.
That is-
Climbs walls and stairs. And it's untested, so.
I know.
It says it will work, so I'm just trying. Otherwise than that, it's all, we didn't have no other options.
but yeah, I don't want that part of it to fall on you.
Yeah, I don't have
That's
time
why
for that.
we, yeah, that's why we, yeah,
That's where I would be at. So
we just need to be trained and
if you
then.
guys are, if you think you're confident the staff will be ready to go,
Mhm.
then we got time to get it out to the public, Tuesday, we can get it out to the public.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, hope it all works. Summer, I didn't have anything else. Summer, I think she had what, a couple cases?
We have a case, a complaint about dogs and too many dogs, and we had court case this week, and it got moved for a second hearing. We were basically there for 10 seconds. It moved for a second hearing next month. So the people that we're going to court with, they hired their own attorney, so that makes things, draws things out. So it's going to be very expensive.
Other than that, I don't think Summer had anything else that she told me about. Do we have any reason for executive session tonight? Hearing none, I need one more motion.
I move we adjourn our meeting for tonight.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you.